Welcome back. Today, we're going to be combining the right hand and the left hand. So we'll be pressing down with our left hand on the strings and bowing with the right hand at the same time, much like the traditional cello playing you might see on YouTube or in concerts. So today is a very exciting day. We're going to actually be able to really combine everything we've learned so far in these past few sessions. One thing to note for today, we're just going to play on one string at a time because it's a little tricky to string cross. That's what we call going from one string to the next string while you're playing. So we're just going to focus on the D string first and then the A string using Mary Had a Little Lamb because you already know that song. So get your cello, get your bow, get it rosined, tighten the screw a few times, and let's get started. Okay, now I'm going to show you some simple bow or right hand warm-ups, some little exercises. So hold your bow like this. So think of the tip pointing to the ceiling. Then what we can do, we're gonna stir the cauldron or stir the pot. So what we're doing is we're going in this circular motion while holding the bow and keeping it as still as possible. So this is improving our control and reducing any tension as well, because it's really difficult to do this smooth motion if your muscles are all tense, right? So nice and just smooth. We'll do this for a little while. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend that I'm painting a fence. So painting the fence. And what I'm doing here, what I'm thinking about is look at my wrist motion. See how it's very flowy. The motion follows the bow. So painting the fence just up and down. Think about what color you're painting your fence in your mind. I think mine's gonna be pink. So painting the fence. Awesome. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to continue holding my bow this way, but I'm going to point the tip towards you, and you could point the tip of your bow towards me. So I'm pointing it towards you, and my arm stays still. So I'm doing this all from the motion of my fingers. So remember how last time I was telling you guys how the control really comes from your thumb, your pointer, and your pinky. So those are the fingers that you can use to really do this motion, and this will help increase your control of the bow. Awesome. Keep that arm still. Good job. All right, let's put our bow now on the C string. We're gonna warm up by playing our open string. So just like your homework assignment for the last session video, we're going to play 4 repetitions of each string. We're gonna start on the C string this time. So you can do it with me or just watch along. So 1, 2, ready, go. G string, however you do that at this point. D string. Then finally A string. Feeling warmed up yet? I know I am. So let's jump right into our song. We are going to start with Mary Had a Little Lamb on the D string. So just as another review, I'm going to try to find first position using the trick. So I've got my 4 fingers, right? Here I go. There we go. My right hand finger's on the D string because I'm going to find this spot. There's our first position. So refer back to your sheet music for Mary Had a Little Lamb, or if you don't have it memorized by now, feel free to go watch some of the previous videos where we go in depth with the left hand notes for Mary Had a Little Lamb. But for now, we're going to focus on the right hand with Mary Had a Little Lamb. So I'm going to play it for you first, and what I want you to do is to watch what my hand does, what my wrist does, you know, the mechanics of this. So I'm going to play this slowly, and I'm going to give you a chance to just watch my right hand. One thing that I notice while I'm playing is that my wrist likes to stay super flexible when I'm going from down bows to up bows. Everything's just really loosey-goosey. I like to think of it like swimming through water. It's just really supported, comfortable, and easy feeling. So the wrist moves along with the bow just like in our exercises we did up here. The other thing that I notice while I'm playing is once I get to the tip and I'm all the way out here, my right hand leans this way. It leans to my left. So what I'm doing is I'm actually pressing into the stick with the side of my pointer finger, and that helps me get more power at the tip, especially on that up bow. You might have found so far that the down bow is pretty easy. Then once you get to the up bow and then you want to go back this way, it kind of sounds a little scratchy, right? So to fix that, you definitely press in, lean in with your pointer finger like that. But then when I'm at the frog, my hand isn't this, you know, slanted. It comes right back because we're loosey-goosey, just like water. So those are some things I notice. Another thing I notice while I'm playing is that my fingers and my bow move and change at the same time. So this is purely a coordination thing. If you're having trouble with this, don't worry, you're not alone. That's very common. So just keep at it, keep practicing. Make sure if you have any questions or if you're unsure if you're doing it right, post a video of yourself playing, post it in our group, and I will come and help you. I'll make sure that you're on the right track. So we're moving our bow and our left hand at the same time. Another thing to think about while you're practicing this and playing this song on one string with the bow is to make sure that it sounds really nice and consistent and your bow is straight. So one trick I like to think of to keep a straight bow is once we're pulling the bow on a down bow towards the tip, once I get to about middle of the bow-ish, upper middle, I start moving my arm out. So sometimes I'll tell my students that it's like I'm a boxer. I'm going out. So I move out a little bit, and then when I go the opposite direction, I pull it back in. So this movement is very subtle, but it's just another way to think about keeping your bow straight, because our strings are at an angle, right? Everything's angled here and curved. So that's one way we get around it. That will also help you think about straightening your arm, because one thing I see all the time with beginner cello players is once we get to about this point, people are afraid to bend their arm, and then this happens. So if this is happening to you, don't feel bad. That is very common. So this is not good, right? Then straighten that arm once you get to the tip. Come back. Awesome. All right, why don't we try try something new. Let's go over to the A string. Let's play Mary Had a Little Lamb on the A string. And you'll notice, like we talked about before, once we go to a different string, like a higher string, we have to move up our arm just a little bit. Not too much, but enough that you should be aware of it. So let's try it. Why don't you pause the video and try that yourself? So play Mary Had a Little Lamb with the bow on the A string. Before we finish today's video, I want to give you a little technique that you can use if you find your right hand getting sore or tired at any point in this process. So I remember when I first started using the bow, my hand hurt because I was practicing all the time, right? And this was a totally new thing. You know, the cello bow hand is relatively natural in that it's balanced with our thumb kind of behind our second finger, but it's still weird, right? We're holding this stick, this kind of heavy stick, and moving it in a certain way. So if you find that your hand is cramping or it's sore or like you're locking up, especially like if you find that like you're turning into a claw, just like, then what I want you to do is to, first of all, hold your bow in your other hand or put it down, shake out your hand like this, get all of that tension out, just blah, 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 blah. Then do this visualization exercise. So imagine you have next to you a bucket of honey. So a huge bucket of honey. I don't know if you've ever stuck your hand in a bucket of honey. I know I haven't, but I can imagine what it would feel like. So just thick, right? Sticky. And so you stick it in. Oh gosh, it's so sticky. It's so honey, right? Oh. But as you go in, it's like you just kind of give in to the weight of the honey around your hand, right? And so your hand just turns into dead weight, just filled with sticky honey. So make your hand go fully dead weight. Then once it feels really just comfortable and loose, pull your arm out of that honey. Oh gosh, it's so sticky and heavy. Oh, gross. So you have your honey hand, right? And the honey's just like dripping up. In my mind, I can picture it just like falling on the ground. But while I'm doing this, my hand is completely relaxed now because I went fully dead weight in this bucket of honey in my mind. So then after you do that, then you can come back to the bow and try it again. So do that as many times as you need. And I know that might seem silly, but that's something that worked really, really well for me. And I tell all of my students this trick too. So if that's happening, go ahead and try that. And if that doesn't work, if you're still having serious issues with any kind of pain or anything like that, definitely let me know. Email me as soon as possible and I will help you. Great job. You finished session 6 of our beginner cello course. I'm so proud of you. We're almost there. We can see the finish line at this point. So today we learned how to play with the right hand and the left hand at the same time using a song we already know, Mary Had a Little Lamb. So what I'd like you to do is practice this as much as you need to, at least 1 week, right? And then post a video of yourself playing Mary Had a Little Lamb with the bow on either the D or A string, your choice. And post it in our group and I will see it and give you comments and help you out. And we'll keep moving forward. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you next time.